right, guys, today we worked on real world one-step equations. So some steps that we need to think about as we're writing and solving our one-step equation from real world problems. First thing you need to do is identify the variable. So as we're reading our problem, we've got to figure out what we don't know. What is the unknown here? And then label that variable based on something that's in our problem. The second thing we're going to do is identify if the variable has a coefficient or if it has a constant, okay? So since this is a one step, we're either going to have a constant that we're adding, subtracting, or dividing, or we're going to have a coefficient where we're multiplying. So we've got to figure out what that other number is, okay? Then we're going to determine which mathematical operations that we're going to use to solve. And then last but not least, we've got to figure out what is the equation equal to. Okay, then you're going to write your equation and you're going to solve for the variable. And we're going to solve the exact same way that we've been solving one-step equations. Okay, so number one, let's take a look at some examples. It says last week, Danielle ran 17.8 miles more than Ryan. The total distance Danielle ran is 35.7 miles. How many miles did Ryan run? So like I said, the first thing we're going to try to figure out is the variable what we're missing. And in this problem, we don't know how many miles Ryan ran, okay? So our variable is going to be R for the number of miles that Ryan ran, because that's what we don't know, okay? Then we're going to look for our math operation. And if we look in the problem here, I see the words more than. More than tells me that our math operation is going to be addition, okay? Now, it says last week Danielle ran 17.8 miles. 17.8 is going to be our constant because we're going to add it to figure out how many Ryan ran. Okay, and we know that our answer, it is 35.7 because we know the word is tells me where to put the equal sign. Okay, so if we're going to write our equation, okay, we're going to take the amount that Ryan ran plus the 17.8 that Danielle ran more than him. So it's 17.8 miles more than, that's our plus, Ryan. And we know that that is equal to 35.7. Okay, now we're just going to solve it. Remember, you're going to draw your line through the equal sign, and then we're going to do the inverse on both sides. I'm adding 17.8, so the opposite would be to subtract 17.8. Remember, whatever we do on one side of the equation, we've got to do on the other as well. So plus 17.8 and minus 17.8, those are inverses. They're opposites, so they cancel, and we're left with just our R. And then we're going to subtract 35.7 minus 17.8, and we get 17.9. So our final answer is that Ryan ran 17.9 miles. Okay. All right, let's take a look at example 2. Example 2 says Adam spent $42.42 on 7 colored markers. How much did each marker cost? So the first thing that we're going to be looking for is our variable. And if we're looking for what we don't know in this problem, we don't know how much each marker cost. And I'm going to call that P because I don't know the price of that marker. Okay. We're looking for the math operation here, and I see the word each. When we're saying that each one costs this much, that tells me that we're going to be multiplying. It said that that he purchased 7 of these. So our coefficient here is going to be 7 because he purchased 7 of them. And we know that he spent a total of $42.42, so that's what our equation is going to be equal to. So if we write it out, we're taking the price of 7 markers, and that equals $42.42. So I can write that as 7P, or 7 markers times the price, equals $42.42. Okay, so we're going to solve it out the exact same way that we know how to. We're going to draw our line through the equal sign, and now we're going to figure out what inverse operation we need to solve. This is multiplication, so the inverse we're going to use is division. We're going to divide out our 7 to get the P all by itself. Now remember, whatever I do on the left, I need to come over here and do on the right as well. So I'm going to divide by 7 over here as well. We have a times by 7 and a divide by 7, and those cancel, and we're left with just a P, or just the price. Now we're going to divide on this side. We have $42.42 divided by 7, and we get $6.06. So our final answer is that the price of each marker was $6.06.